Hello everyone, hope everyone is safe and sound and staying at home. I'm Arita Haq and I'm once again back on a lesson day with another physics lesson. And today is the third lesson on heat. So without any further delay, let's just get started. So in the last two videos, we discussed about what is heat, what is temperature, how does it work. We also discussed about conduction, convection, radiation, and specific heat capacity. So today we will be solving some questions based on heat. So let's look at the first question. So the first question says, state briefly how energy is transferred in the following processes. 1A says conduction, B is convection, and C is radiation. Now let us look at the answer. So 1A says conduction only occurs in all solids whereby the heat energy is transferred via increased vibrations from one layer of molecules to its neighboring layer and so on. For solids which are good conductors of electricity, free electrons can carry heat energy quickly by diffusing from the hotter end of the solid to the colder section. That's what we discussed in the first video of heat, if you can remember. That transfer of heat basically happens from a hotter object to a cooler object. So this was all about conduction. Let us move on to convection. Now what is convection? Convection occurs only in fluids whereby the fluid at the heat source warms up and becomes less dense than the surrounding fluid. This causes the fluid to rise, carrying the heat away from the source. The process is repeated as colder fluid moves in to replace the moving warmer liquid. And now, last but not the least, radiation. So in radiation, the heat energy travels in the form of waves from one place to another without any medium, like we discussed. So this was all about how energy is transferred in the following processes in conduction, convection, and radiation. Now, let us have a look at the second question. So in the second question, it's written, a Bunsen burner is used to heat a beaker full of water. What is a Bunsen burner? A Bunsen burner is a type of gas burner specially used in laboratories as a heat source. So a Bunsen burner is being used to heat a beaker full of water. A beaker is nothing but a container which is used in the laboratories. So number 2A says, explain how energy is transferred through the bottom of the beaker. So the answer to that is the glass molecules of the beaker gain energy from the Bunsen burner, which is passed on to neighboring molecules upon being heated. So number B question is, explain how energy is transferred through the water. So the water near the bottom of the beaker heats up first, it expands and rises up to the top. So what happens is when the beaker full of water is being heated by the Bunsen burner, so the water at the bottom of the beaker gets heated first and then it expands and gradually rises up. So the colder water being denser sinks to the bottom to be heated up again. Thus, a convection current is set up which transfers heat through the water. And last, number C says, a student's hand several centimeters to one side of the Bunsen burner starts to feel hot. Name the process by which energy is transferred from the burner to the student's hand. So that is by radiation. How? Because heat waves are passing to the student's hand without any medium, and that is why the student's hand starts to feel hot. Now let us have a look at the third question, which is the last question for today. So the third question says, a saucepan, which we all know, with a thick copper base contains water and is placed on a flat electric plate. So a saucepan is a pan in which we often boil water or cook. So a saucepan like that with a thick copper base contains water inside it and is placed on a flat electric hot plate. So 3A says, state the process by which energy is transferred from the hot plate to the water inside the saucepan? So the answer to that is heat is transferred from hot plate to the water by the process of conduction. As we all know, conduction occurs only in solids, and here heat energy is transferred by increased vibrations from one layer of molecules to its neighboring molecules, and so on. So the second one says, state the process by which energy is spread through water. So this is convection for sure, as we all know that convection occurs only in liquid or fluids, where a fluid at the heat source warms up and becomes less dense than the surrounding fluid. So now moving on to 3b. In here it says, state one reason why the water would reach boiling point more rapidly with a lid on the pan. So if the saucepan is covered with the lid on top of it, why would water reach boiling point more rapidly? The answer to that is heat loss by convection is reduced by the lid. So if there is no lid, then the heat loss will be more. But if we covered the pan with the lid, then the water would reach boiling point more rapidly because no heat is being lost, or the heat loss is very, very reduced. And the last question is that the sides of saucepans are often polished. As you can see, some shiny saucepans are often in our kitchen. So how does this reduce heat loss? Polished surfaces are very poor emitters of heat, and hence heat loss by radiation is minimized. Thank you so much everyone for watching today's video so patiently. I really hope you enjoyed it. And with this, we have come to an end of the heat chapter. So if you haven't watched the first two videos of heat, please follow the link given in the description box below and watch the first two videos and then this video. And I really, really hope we enjoyed learning together. So thank you. Have a good day.